Hello crafters! Today I'm coming with you with a video that I compiled of previous crafting projects that I have shared for Easter. I put them together because in the past few years, not a lot of people would see those videos, and now that my channel has grown, I have a lot more of you watching. Hello, nice to meet you. I am Shay, sharing my Cricut and crafting journey because I turned my hobby into income, and if you want to do that, you can too. So keep watching because these are actually ideas that I have made and sold. So whether you're looking to just craft as a hobby or add one of these crafts to your business, great options. Before we start, I did want to mention that I'm hoping my camera game has improved since these videos were filmed. Please bear with me on that aspect of it, but the ideas and the tutorials are still very relevant. So enough of that, let's get into the ideas. Roll the tape. The first Easter craft we're working on today is Dunn inspired. So first step is going to dafont.com so that we can download a similar font to the look of Dunn. So what we're going to look up is the font called The Skinny, and then you're going to want to go ahead and download that font. It is free for personal use, so you're good to use this for things like decor around your home, or if you want to give it to, you know, family or friends. If you're not too sure how to actually get the font onto Cricut Design Space, you have to go in and download it. And then the odd time you'll either have to unzip the file in your downloads folder. So you'll have to right click, hit extract all, and then it's going to separate them. For my computer, I currently have a Windows computer. I'm able to actually just go in and then right click to hit install in the downloads folder. So it does depend what computer you have, but either way you have to actually go in and add the install to it. So go into your downloads folder, right click, and press install. Wonderful. Now we're able to hop on over to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to hit the text bar and just type out the words that I want. So I'm going to skip ahead here and just type them all out. I made sure to make them a little bit bolder because this font is very thin and skinny. So it's going to be a little trickier to work with, but that's okay. I have a little trick up my sleeve to show you how we're going to weed it out and make the transfer a little easier. That's it that I'm going to do in Cricut Design Space. I have already measured them out to match my egg, and I'm ready to cut them out. Make sure your settings are on. I like to add a little bit of extra pressure on top, so I turn my dial one more, or I select manually on Cricut Design Space, more pressure. This way it'll be easier to weed that font. I would suggest you do the reverse weed method for something like this, which I actually did not do in this video, but knowing what I know now a year later, reverse weeding would have been so much easier. And that is where you just take the transfer sheet and put it across the entire decal, including the background. And then once it's on the clear transfer sheet or transfer tape, you can actually weed it out off of there, but your letters will stick onto the transfer sheet and not pull up. So I really suggest you try that method if you're having troubles with this font. But I did get success doing it just the regular weeding way, so not a problem if you want to try that. Now you need to decide if you want to do your font horizontally or vertically. For today, I chose to do it just this way. And now I'm just going to go in with my transfer tape. It's actually contact paper that I purchased off of Amazon, but any transfer tape will do, or contact paper, whatever you have and want to use. I'm going to use my little scraper tool to get it down onto the transfer sheet, and then I'm able to lift it up and add it to my egg. So with a curved surface similar to eggs or mugs, tumblers, things like that, I have a little bit of a tip that really helps me. Sometimes your decal can stick down wrong when it's a curved surface. So what I like to do is start with the very middle of the decal. I'm going to put on the O first, so starting in the middle. And I like to use my fingers because they can really get the curve of whatever material or item I'm adhering my vinyl to. So I'm going to go in with the O. We are working one side at a time. So you are going to move on over to the next letter, which is for me the P. And I'm going to use my finger to press it down little bit by little bit and almost trace over the decal with my finger. That way I can really get it on the egg. This will make the transfer a lot easier. Then now that that's down, I'm going to go on over to the H, stick that down, and as you can see, using my finger to go along the curved surface of this egg, mug, tumbler, whatever you're making, this really helps a lot. And as much as this scraper tool is great, I feel like your hands are a lot better because they can curve with whatever you're working with. Here we go, so cute. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. I'm using permanent adhesive vinyl, so you do not need to seal these, but you totally could if you want. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest and show you the finished product. Here's the finished product of these really cute Rae Dunn inspired Easter eggs. I absolutely love these and I cannot wait to put these up as decor this year. This next DIY is kind of similar to this one, but we're gonna put a little bit of a spin on it, add it to some Easter baskets, and just make it more fun for the kids. I picked up this pack of plastic Easter eggs. The dollar store had so many different options, different colors, sizes, shapes, all things. And what I'm going to do is add the children's name to it. I am going to be using the Dollar Tree brand Crafters Square vinyl because I like to use this just for little projects like this that I'm not selling, more for personal use. I love adding little personalization to gifts that I'm going to give to kids because it's always a hit. A big thing for me is when I'm adding personalization like names, I always want it to be legible for the child. For example, my little one is in school, you know, she's just starting to learn how to recognize letters and names. So it's really important to me that when I'm gifting something to children, they're able to read it and recognize the letters as much as it might not be as cute. Now that I have cut out the vinyl, I am just weeding out the parts that I do not want. Because it is a finer and thinner font, I am going to be using the reverse weeding method, which is where I'm pulling up the entire decal with the background and then weeding it out once it's on the transfer tape. When you're putting things on an object that is more circular, I find it really helpful to cut a little bit around the transfer tape, make small cuts, and then you're able to round the edges a little better. I found this small little wicker basket for 10 cents at my local thrift store. You don't have to have a little basket, but I just thought it would be a cute little way to set these up and add it for decor. I did want to show you a couple different ways to do this. So my preference is doing it this way, where I'm just putting it on the top here. I really like how it turned out. It's definitely a lot easier, in my opinion, to remove the transfer tape if you do it this way, but whatever way you think looks better, go ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead and transfer the remainder of these little decals onto my eggs, and I really love how this little DIY turned out. The kids were so excited to see their names on little eggs, and I feel like it's such a personalized gift to give to them. The last Easter DIY craft that I'm showing you today are going to be these little Easter tote bags. These are so cute. You can purchase Easter baskets, buckets, bins, tote bags. There are so many options. I picked this up at my local dollar store for $4, but you could find them a lot of different places. I've seen them at Michael's, Party City, you name it, they sell these. All I'm going to do is add some heat transfer vinyl, iron-on vinyl. So I'm going into Cricut Design Space. I'm hitting the text function on the left-hand side. And with fonts like this, it doesn't actually connect the cursive. So there's a couple ways you can do this, but for today's video, I'm going to select them all and hit the ungroup button on that right-hand panel. And then I'm going to use my cursor to slide them along and match them up. After that's done, I'm going to make sure they're all aligned at the bottom so they're straight. And now that they're lined up, I can highlight them all and hit weld. This is going to make it so that my Cricut machine cuts around the font and not through it. It'll connect all the letters. You'll see what I mean in the end. So we're going to go ahead with our iron-on vinyl, shiny side down, and I'm setting my settings to iron-on. Make sure you hit mirror image on Cricut Design Space right here on the left-hand side. When you go to do your transfer, it will make sense. It'll be the correct way. So for heat transfer vinyl, most of the time the transfer sheet is already on there. So that is why you're going to mirror the image. I'm going to let my Cricut do its thing, cut out this fun little decal, and then we will be ready to weed it out. Wonderful, so now you can peel your vinyl away from your mat. I'm going to weed it out. Heat transfer vinyl is very easy to weed. It kind of just comes up on its own, so I don't really need to do any hard work to get the vinyl up. I'm going to remove the background and then the inside of the letters, and we're ready to get started. So for the actual transfer, you could use an iron, you could use a heat press, CRICUT Easy Press. I've even used a hair straightener before. So you can use a lot of different things. Don't worry if you do not have a heat press. You can still do it, just take your regular iron. Underneath, I just have a regular Walmart brand ironing mat. Anything works. If you just have a hard surface, that's awesome. And then I'm going to be using some parchment paper over top to protect the decal and as well as protect the actual material I'm adhering it to, so that little tote bag. If you don't have parchment paper, you could use a Teflon sheet, a pillowcase, a little thin blanket or sheet, just something to really protect it, some type of thin material. So I'm going in with my iron and I'm just going with a little bit of pressure, but also making sure I'm moving the iron around and not keeping it in one spot for too long. I'm kind of going back and forth. If you have a heat press, it's going to be easier because you just need to put it on. But with the iron, you're going to need to add a little pressure and move it around a bit. But that's it. So cute and simple. I know the lighting about a year ago wasn't that great for my videos, which I do apologize for. Thankfully, my video and crafting game have upped a little bit, but like I said, these crafts are still very relevant, and they actually still sell these tote bags at the dollar store. I saw them the other day, so you could definitely still make this craft. So fun and easy, and these actually sell really well, so whether you pick up the buckets or whatever, great option to sell for Easter. You would make a lot of money. Hey, that's a wrap on today's video. But have no fear, I have a lot more Cricut, crafting, and DIY content on my channel. So feel free to check out one of these playlists or videos here. Otherwise, I have a lot more content if you wanted to check out my channel. I will also leave my Instagram right down here. Please take a moment to make sure you are subscribed because I post new crafting ideas and Cricut videos multiple times a week for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.